Joining us now to discuss tonight's primary is the president and the CEO of the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce, Chris Cate, and San Diego County Supervisor Paloma Aguirre. And we were talking about the 48th. Let's go from there. I would ask you, Paloma, Jim Desmond is formidable. He has represented this area and lives in the area for a long, long time. How do you think the Democrats can take it from him?
Well, they do have an advantage in registration right now, right? That's a fact. The other fact is that he's endorsed by a president that has the majority in Congress, in the judicial and the executive, and all the promises he made when he campaigned, gas prices going down, no more wars, cost of living going down, has not actually happened. It's actually worsened. So working people are frustrated, they're tired, and they can expect the same with Supervisor Desmond winning the 48th. Now, the fight's going to be formidable because all it takes are 3 seats for us to take back the House and undo all the damage that this administration and the majority in Congress is doing proactively right now to working people. They're stripping their health care. They're taking food away from children. They're putting more barriers for people to qualify for entitlement programs that we all pay into and that for generations we have expected to be able to access in our time of need. And the time of need could not be bigger as it is now under this administration.
And Chris Cate, I'll get your thoughts on that too. Jim Desmond does go in. These are the people he's helped for a long time as county supervisor, mayor of San Marcos, whether it's mental health resources, various other things. He has a list of things he's bringing to the voters. What are your thoughts on whether he can overcome the +4 with the Democrats now with the newly redrawn district?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out from the primary on the Democrat side, whether it's someone like Omar Campa or Councilmember Von Wilper as well too. I will say that because of the newly redrawn district, it's going to be difficult for whomever comes out of this because you have a whole new territory, especially in the Palm Springs area, that has not been represented by anybody before.
Well, what does he have that he could bring?
Absolutely. We talked about a little bit the history he has with the district, the accomplishments that he can bring as well too, can showcase that to voters. This is going to be a targeted race for the country. As Supervisor Aguirre mentioned, this is going to be a very targeted race for control of the House, and I would imagine a lot of money will be spent on both sides for this race. And I think one advantage on that end that Supervisor Desmond does have is that he hasn't had to spend a lot of money in the primary to get through past today, where on the other side, both Omar and Councilmember Von Wilper had to spend considerable money, and their supporters had to spend a considerable amount of money as well.
The other thing that we heard when we were talking to people just then, and I'll just start with you this time, is change. So now we look at the governor's race. Steve Hilton, Populist campaign, he's running on change. How can he get that done in the state of California?
Yeah, I think what's interesting in all the polls leading up to today is I think the dismay that voters have with status quo, and that can work on both sides. And I think you're going to see that type of populist trend on a lot of elections that are happening, whether it's at the governor's race or here locally as well too. I think there's a trend to try to run against the establishment of what is today and bring and showcase that change dynamic to the voters of whomever you represent, whether on a Republican side or Democrat side. So it's trying to run away a little bit from what status quo, and we'll see how that works at all levels of government.
And Paloma, I would just say, so let's just imagine that we're talking either Steyer or Becerra. Why are Steyer or Becerra better than a change candidate like Steve Hilton?
Well, I will tell you from my perspective, as you know, I invited all the gubernatorial candidates to come tour the Tijuana River sewage crisis. We had Becerra, Steyer, Porter, Yee, and Villaraigosa come and commit to declaring a state of emergency. So I think that shows that these candidates are committed to not just the sewage crisis, but to bring change too. Now, to your question, Steyer, Becerra, I mean, they're very different candidates. I think that it'll be interesting watching the results right now because at the end of the day, the majority of registration in this state, it's almost 2-to-1 advantage Democratic. So even if candidate Hilton makes it through the primary, the reality is, you know, it's very likely that a Democrat will make it through. I do think that Steyer brings a little bit more innovative perspective. He hasn't held office. We have somebody much more experienced that worked for the Biden administration in Becerra. So I think it'll be interesting to see where that change speaks to as far as which of the two candidates, which have been polling pretty neck and neck, as you know.
They have, and Steve Hilton's been doing pretty good. I'm curious if you look now and wonder if Alex Padilla or Kamala Harris maybe should have been in this race. We might not be at this neck and neck. We've got a threesome at the top right now.
Sure, but like I said, it's going to be a Democrat and a Republican. I can almost guarantee that, or two Democrats, right? But I just don't see it being two Republicans. So yeah, it could have been a very much different reality, but you know, we have the presidential election coming up as well. So perhaps those folks that you just mentioned are interested in different positions.
And you two are going to stick around throughout the evening because we have much more. We'll go back and forth throughout the evening and again at 11 o'clock tonight. Thank you for that.